Hello, everybody. It's been a while. It's been a while, and we are back once again. I am your host, Forrest at USAEFC on Twitter and Instagram. Can't believe I told you I have an Instagram. With me today is once again Jacob R. Ritchie, Jacob six two
Let's
five
go.
at Ritchie Jacob 625. Follow him now. Jacob, say hello to everybody.
What's going on, everybody? What's going on, Forrest?
Jacob, so good to see you, man. We've been on a bit of a hiatus with the Cup games last week, and I've just taken some time away from X, Twitter, Everton, as it has been, to
Yeah.
just focus on life a little bit, right? Um, so, Jacob, I think you've done the same, right? So, Jacob, where did you go actually during this trip, during this time off?
I was in New Orleans for the beautiful celebration of Mardi Gras.
Mardi Gras, Fat Tuesday, as it's known. For people who don't know what
Mm,
Mardi Gras is, I don't know what it is either, but people get drunk. It's a good time. No,
they do. They get drunk and they throw beads around. As a
and they throw
papist
beads.
myself, it's my
Yeah.
it's my holy holiday.
Oh, Catholic holiday.
Or something.
Well, Jacob is back safe and sound from New Orleans. He got to ride on a float. He didn't let you guys know that part. I guess he didn't want to big himself up, but I'll big him up for you. Um, and we are here today to talk about something that happened earlier today that I think we'd all rather forget very quickly.
Mm.
Um, but here we are having to talk about it because we just love Everton so much. Everton lost at home, once again at home, to Manchester United, 1-0 today, a 74th, 75th minute. It was pretty late in the game. Benjamin
Mm.
Šeško goal on a breakaway doomed us to defeat in a game that a lot of people think we were really good in and really dominant, and I don't have quite the same opinion on as them. But we'll get right into it. There's a lot to talk about. After the game initially happened, during the game even, I was pretty pissed off. It was pretty frustrating to watch us, and has been obviously frustrating to watch us play at home for a while. Um, it's just you feel like you say the same things over and over, so it's really hard to find something new to say. But
Mm.
I'll task Jacob with that first. So Jacob, give me your initial thoughts on that game.
Yeah, I mean, I think before even talking to you about this game, I think at least for me, the frustration with watching Everton play at home and the frustration with how we set out to play these games just absolutely boggles my mind. And we huff and we puff and we run around and we pass
Yeah,
sideways and we pass backwards and half the team's out of position. And, you know, it's one of those things like you get to the half and it's 0-0 and you haven't played that bad. Manchester United, for what it's worth, didn't really do anything. And so it's like, okay, fine, I understand, right? And we get into the second half and we huff and puff some more for all of 5 minutes, and we have our oh look customary we're playing well moment, and then of course we get ripped apart on the counter and they score a goal,
yep.
which inevitably leads to the 30 more minutes of us huffing and puffing around. And it's so much, it's always just so much, it feels like industry with absolutely no idea how to actually put the ball into the net. And I think if we set up to play this game a little more positively, if we, I mean, this game was there to be won, and I
Mm-hmm.
think what do we have? 15 corners. I mean, not even being.
10, but yeah,
I mean, unbelievable amount of corners, unbelievable amount of possession in the second half. I mean, and it's essentially for nothing. And I think that's what really gets me is we just have guys running around out of position, and it's hard to watch.
yeah. Uh, there were a lot of moments, really specifically in that first half, that were really, really frustrating. Because I do think we played fairly well in that game. I think there were maybe there's a better way I want to go. I think there were opportunities for us to play really well in that game. I
Hmm.
think there were opportunities where we won the ball back in really good places where defensively we were really solid. I thought Branthwaite had a pretty good game. I thought James Garner was really, really good at right back. Yeah, it's, as good as he is at midfield, I mean, the guy just goes up another level to me at right back. It's just how involved can you get him in the game in a David Moyes side right now at right back. I thought Tim Iroegbunam. for all his faults, had a decent first half, breaking up play, making decent tackles. I think there were many times you saw the good and the bad of Tim Eric Boonham in that first half of finding those interceptions and making really, really good tackles. But then also just not being able to pass the ball. Just, yeah, many opportunities in transition, offensive transition specifically, where we're looking to break. We're trying to get the ball to Dewsbury Hall in space to get him to run onto, and the ball is played behind Dewsbury Hall, or it's played short, and the United player is able to make take the initiative and run onto it. And that happened a lot. And Eric Boonham was not the only one guilty of that, but he was somebody we'll highlight because he had a decent amount of opportunities. He was the one who was getting on the ball a bit more in that defensive midfield. I thought Gonagay was a little bit anonymous in the first half. In the second half, he got a lot more time because we were pushed higher up the pitch and we're trying to block Manchester United into their box, which we did fairly well. But it was just again, like you said, a lot of endeavor, a lot of fart and no crap. It was just a lot of passing around to pass around, a lot of trying to get the ball out wide, of trying to get Njai isolated in a 1v1. But then you get him isolated in a 1v1, and the guy's basically on planet Mars trying to put a ball in to 5 Manchester United defenders and 2 Everton players. It was,
Yeah.
It's just you're watching this team at home wondering, what is the idea? What is the purpose of our attack? Are we going to be a team that doesn't try to have possession at home and hit on the counter? No, that's not going to happen because teams aren't going to let us do that at home. They're going to give us the ball like they've done and give us the impetus to score. And it's up to us to do something with that, and we don't. We're too sloppy in possession.
Yeah.
So it was very frustrating. I found myself unfortunately shouting at my TV a number of times on some of those passes in the first half specifically, and then in the second half, especially after we concede. It's just kind of what it seemed like at home. Our heads just fall off. We don't react well. We don't develop a plan. He puts on a second striker, and it's still just muchness, nothing.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to say this and it come off unfair because I think it's going to. I think Harrison Armstrong, right?
Yeah.
Harrison Armstrong did not play bad. Honestly, I thought he was all right. For what it was, I thought he was okay. But I just feel like the solution is so much simpler than everybody is making it to be. My biggest problem with this game is David Moyes. I hate the lineup he put out. I love James Garner back at right back. Let me start there. James Garner at right back, like you said, fantastic. And we've been tooting that drum all season, just tooting the drum, banging the horn, dude. We are just tooting these drums.
I'm James strumming that trumpet, bro.
Yes, and I mean, I don't understand how Harrison Armstrong is your starting winger in this system when it's so very obvious what needs to happen is Idrissa Gueye needs to go ride some bench for probably 60 to 65 minutes a game. Harrison Armstrong needs to sit in that midfield, and Tyreek George or Dibbling needs to be in their natural position on the wing. Why are we signing these people, these young players, and then George comes on for 20 minutes and he looks damn near like Ronaldinho out there, and he's the only guy providing any sort of impetus, and all of a sudden Njai doesn't look like he has to take on 11 players by himself every time.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I mean, if we're gonna, the counterattack goal, I don't even think I saw some people giving Michael Keane crap. I saw some people giving Tarkowski crap for it. I think it's I think it's just one of those. It's a good goal. I think they played it really well. I think Tarkowski probably could have gotten back a little faster. He had to step on Chesko, to be fair, but he's not winning that race. And once you're in that position, I think there's not really a ton you can do anyway. But my biggest gripe is really just, if we're going to play Braithwaite at left back, fine. I understand. If we're going to put Garner at right back, fine. But you have wingers, and Harrison Armstrong is a decent to pretty good midfielder, and even Irabunam today. I'm still on the Irabunam believer train. Just give Armstrong and Irabunam just one game in the midfield at Dewsbury Hall and just see what happens. If you concede 7 goals, fine. Let it be what it is. But I'm so sick and tired of this Idrissa Gueye to Harrison Armstrong to Irabunam midfield wing triangle crap that just generates nothing going forward, and honestly isn't really that sound defending either. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of the thing. We are saying the same stuff every week,
Every single week.
especially at home, and you kind of sit there and you think, well, you think of the saying, like insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results, and that's kind of what it feels like at times. Is that we are watching David Moyes try to correct his mistakes by making the same decisions, by putting the same players in the same places, and it's just not feeling good. It's not providing any spark. I think one thing we can really focus on as a positive today was the fans. I thought they were right up for it. I thought they were great. They were right into that game. They were
Mhm.
supporting that team through, even after we conceded, trying to get that team over the line and trying to get us a goal. And for all the faults this season we've had at home, they were really up for this game, and the team didn't match that performance. They and again, that's not like the team itself in terms of effort, but in terms of the tactics, in terms of
Yeah.
what we could do differently to create something to make this to rewrite this story, right? I think this is one of the things we've talked about on this podcast quite a few times this season is rewriting the story of the season, of how different it can be for us if we sit here and try and be brave. And I don't think that David Moyes has it in him to be brave for whatever reason it is. I mean, with all the experience he has, you'd think he would recognize that, man, this just isn't working. Like, as good as Jared Branthwaite is and can play anywhere, putting him at left back just leaves us with this mismanaged, unbalanced side. Keeping Michael Keane in the team and in as even if you think Michael Keane has been really great this season, is providing a harder situation for James Tarkowski and the rest of the back four to deal with at times. I mean, it's hard to, there's not a player I would pick out that lost us a game today, because I don't think it was the players. I think to a greater extent it was David Moyes persisting with people like Harrison Armstrong on the wing, with persisting with Ganagay, who needs time out of this team to refine his form, persisting with out of form players and out of form subs, and persisting with out of position players. It's just it's happening every week, even away from home, where we can manage it because we're trying to play more solid and defensive and trying to smash and grab. But when you're at home and you're trying to lay a glove down and say, this is who we are and this is our house, we decide what happens here, that's not what's happening. We're pushovers. We're becoming pushovers at home, especially on these counterattacks. We are constantly getting caught on the counterattack badly. You think of against Brentford, that Thiago, when he had after he ran past midfield, he had everything by himself to run onto goal. Against Newcastle, it happened a few times with Voltamonda, who had all that space for his goal. I mean, it's just happening. It's happening. Against Bournemouth, it happened. Like, we are just constantly getting caught, and then we're getting caught on crosses too. I mean, it didn't happen today, but just playing at home has become such a chore for us. And that has made this situation where we're going to a new stadium that much more compounded. It's made everything, yeah, go ahead, about the stadium just that much worse for everybody.
No, yeah, I agree, and it it creates the narrative that I think if the club wanted to, if you ask them what is one thing this season that absolutely just cannot happen, I think one of the top things they would have answered with is, please God, we don't want to deal with this. Our new stadium isn't as good as some Park is, and we're not going to win as many games there because the atmosphere is gone, and we have a bunch of tourists there, and blah 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 blah. And I mean, you're almost creating this narrative when you show up every single game at your home ground and you play half a team out of position and just beg to get tactically smacked around. And I don't think it's any coincidence that we
Yeah.
have three center backs and a midfielder on our back line, and we're getting caught out of position. We're getting caught in counters. We don't have midfielders that can hang on to the ball. We have an extremely out of form and extremely in decline Adrissa Gay partnering with an unstable guy in Tim Arabunum who, as you said, has insane highs and lows. And then there's absolutely no outlet, even if you get through the midfield. It's either Njai plays it on his own, Tierno Barry kicks the ball out of bounds because where's he supposed to go? Or Harrison Armstrong plays it back to somebody because he's not a winger and he can't take anybody in the dribble. And I don't, I think I would ask you, because I genuinely don't understand with where we are in the table, with how the season's gone.
We're still
What is
ninth.
it?
That's crazy.
what is David Moyes so afraid of? What is so to lose that he persists with? Because it's very obvious that this is his safe team. These are the guys that he trusts or whatever. We're not going to get beat 4-0 when we play these guys. We might not win, but we're not going to get shellacked around.
Hmm.
What is he afraid of?
Getting
What
schlepped.
is the what is the consequence to losing every game the rest of the season 4-0?
Oh well, I mean, it destroys his
Nothing.
number at the club. I mean, he'll get sacked for that for sure. But I understand what you're saying. What you're saying is why is he not experimenting? Why is he not taking the players he has? I mean, when's the last time we saw Merlin roll? It's been probably a month since the guy got a minute. You
Right.
know, we've got these players that if David Moyes doesn't think is good enough, then I mean, he's never going to come right out and say it. But it's just like at the same time, man, like there's no way he had no role in picking these players to be signed. There's no way he
Because we know how active he is in the transfer policy.
exactly.
Why did we sign Tyler Dibling?
Because we were
Why did
good. I don't know, honestly. Like
$40 million on Tyler Dibling when we don't have a right back? I don't get it.
I don't know. It's a mystery, man. Honestly, I think again, there's a lot about this club that has been run very poorly for a long time, and what I really hope is that this season is us just slowly shaking off the remnants of what has been a really tough few years for the club, a tough decade really for the club. Um, that's my deep down hope is that after
Yeah.
through the rest of the season after this season that we're really going to start to see real change. And I think that's one of the things I wrote down is about trusting this process that we have going on. I know it's so tough right now. Everybody wants to see us progress. Everybody wants to see us succeed, from the players, the managers, the fans, the ownership, the dinner ladies at the club. Everybody, they want to see this club progress. We've been in the doldrums. We've been playing second. I mean, we've always kind of played second fiddle to Liverpool. That just sucks to say, but you kind of have to recognize history at this point. Um, but playing second fiddle to our city rivals in a very big way, being a bit of a laughing stock of a club at the ground, in the league for a long time. I mean, I really hope that this, as much of this season hurts us, that it's becoming the anomaly of Everton, and that we go forward with better plans in the transfer market and with more oomph and more emphasis. And look, I mean, again, like we said, we're still ninth place. Like I wasn't thinking about that when we lost today, but when you really look into it, we're still ninth. We got Newcastle next, right? Like we beat Newcastle. When we say this every week, we beat them, we go on this. We beat them, we go there. Like you get on to 40 points. We're in David. Like maybe David Moyes is waiting until we get to 40 points to release the shackles off everybody. I don't know. Like, but everything that's happening right now is just the most frustrating part because we see the potential in players like Tyreek George, Kieran Dewsbury Hall, Harrison Armstrong, who I really can't believe he's not getting games in center midfield. It's crazy because he like Kieran Dewsbury Hall have a really good ability of bringing the ball out of defense, of being scrappy, of winning balls and using their body to win balls and win fouls. So why are we not utilizing them in areas where we have weaknesses in defensive midfield of holding on to the ball, of progressing the ball in transition? It's I'm not a professional manager. Neither of us are, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And it's we have to sit here and fanalize everything, right? And look at things from blue tinted glasses, right? We always
Mhm.
think, we don't always think we have the answers, but we feel like we must know something. And at the end of the day, like we're not the only ones saying this. There's a lot of fans saying this. This is not some huge group psychosis experiment going on where we're all like just feeding into this echo chamber of oh, we're right and the manager is always wrong, because we're seeing the same stuff happen every week and it's the same results every week, and there's supposed to be
Mhm.
this air of like it's going to be different this time. We promise this time Harrison Armstrong's going to play in the left and he's going to it's going to work. It's just it's not what it is. We're not crazy. Don't let Gabe and Moyes gaslight you. Just let's move on from that, man. So I don't know, man. Was there any real redeeming factor for you today as I go blurry?
I mean, I thought that Tyreek George was great when he came on. I thought he was very impactful, and it made him not starting all the more surprising to me. Um, James Garner, fantastic at right back. I mean, he's just our best right back by, I think, a good bit. which sucks because he's also really good in midfield, but
Correct.
he is a fantastic right back, honestly, which is it's funny. So James Garner was great. Tyreek George is great off the bench. I feel really bad for Tiano Barry again.
Dude,
God love him, dude.
dude, the guy, we do not play to that guy's strengths, man. I mean,
How many times have
it's
we said that?
it's so frustrating, bro. Like, dude, I was so ready to say so much earlier, and now it's just like, what's the point? It's just like okay, let's talk about like Illiman and Die, right? Because this
Yeah.
relates to Tierno Berry. Illiman and Die is played on the right side. He's had a pretty decent season so far on the right side, but that's also because he's had Jack Grealish on the left to be a creative force with him.
Mm-hmm.
So this is back to what last season was, where you put Illiman Die on the left. And it worked because Illiman Die is much better on the left, but he's an isolated guy. He's getting doubled up all the time. All the creative impetus, all the creative expectation is on him to getting the ball to him and creating something from there. The guy is put on an island 9 times out of 10. He is out there by himself, 2v1, trying to find something, or he's 1v1 out, and basically he might as well be in Pluto because the guy is so far out by the corner flag. Like, he beats somebody, but he's never going to be able to put in a ball good enough to get to the one or maybe two guys that are in the box for him to aim at. He's like, he can beat his man, no problem. It happened 4 or 5 times tonight,
Mm-hmm.
but he will not be able to get that ball in because we don't have the bodies in the box for it. He's so far away from play. The guy operates so much better coming from wide to central, right? When he's playing on the left and you bring him in and he's able to juke past the guy, get it onto his favorite foot, and now he can have an actual option on his strong foot to take a good shot on goal or to slip a pass through or play a 1-2 with somebody and make a run of his own. And
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't happen. Those combinations don't happen nearly enough. They were happening a little bit at the beginning of the season between Grealish and Dewsbury Hall uh, and Garner when Garner was playing left back, and that worked quite a few times. So that's just been lost. That's been
Yeah.
lost, and now that's all isolated play again. And now it's all, let's hand the ball off to Dewsbury, Haller, and Jai, and hope that they can create some magic. It makes me think a lot, and this is different because it was a different style, but it makes me think a lot of when after Roberto Martinez's first season, when we were all possession and it was all like, let's just hope somebody can just create something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's just, like, somebody's got to do something special for us to score here. Otherwise, we're just going to hold on to the ball and then give it away and get caught. And that's
Yeah.
what's happening over and over. We're holding on to the ball, hoping somebody does something. Like, I mean, we had one shot on target from inside the box today. It was Harrison Armstrong. He might have should have scored on it. It doesn't matter that, it's not really his position to score from. But
Right.
we had one shot on target in the box. All the three others were outside the box. I think two of them were Idrissa Gueye and one of them was Tyreek George. And everything else, if we're taking pot shots and the only things we can get on target are from 35 yards out, it's just not going to work. It's
Yeah.
not going to work, and something is not working. We are not getting chances created for our strikers. You can blame strikers all you want, but there is no service they get whatsoever. I cannot think of a moment where Tierno Berry had a touch on the ball in the box. It's not.
No.
You cannot blame him for that. Maybe unless he's being coached wrong, you can't blame him for that, man. Like,
Yeah. No, I mean, I 100% agree. And one, I think we do desperately miss Jack Grealish. I think a little more than I haven't seen people really talk about that a lot. He's
it's probably
still our leading goal contributor.
yeah.
Contributor.
He
Um,
will be, probably will be by the end of the season and stay that way.
yep. I mean, if you just look at our personnel, right? I mean, this is another season. I mean, we're getting better year over year. I'll give us that. But I mean, this has been the same kind of story for 4 or 5 years now. It's a team that doesn't concede a lot of goals comparatively to the rest of the league, but it's also a team that does not score any goals at all compared to the rest of the league, right? And I mean, you might think to yourself, right? Well, how does that happen? The team is obviously better, but if you look at our lineup today, man, we've got a center back playing left back. We have a midfield three where two of our midfielders can barely pass the ball. We've got a 19-year-old midfielder on the wing. We have a striker that doesn't get touches, and we're asking Dewsbury, Holland, and Jai to be the entire attack. And then we ask ourselves why we don't create chances. We have 2.5 attacking players on the field, and one of our best creators is at right back, where he's been pretty good, but that does limit what he can do going forward. And so the obvious question to me, and we've already asked, it's been 25 minutes and we've said this 28 times now. Why are we playing this team that clearly is not going to create chances and it's not going to score goals in any meaningful way that's going to go out and get you results? Because the only way we were winning this game today is if we kept a clean sheet, right? And we
Yeah,
didn't. And so we
probably.
lost. I don't know.
Yep. It's there's a real question about why David Moyes doesn't trust a lot of these players that he has to use.
Yeah.
I think that for me, that is a question I find myself thinking of is why does David Moyes not trust Tyler Dibbling? Why does David Moyes not trust Merlin Roll? Why does David Moyes not trust an Asnu or Patterson or even now it seems Mikalenko is he's losing trust in Mikalenko now. And we know about the problems that a lot of these players have. Tyler Dibbling is very passive. Merlin Roll's a bit of a wild card. We don't really know much about him at all. He's had such limited minutes this season. Patterson is to Dave, I guess in David Moyes' mind, just not good enough. And Mikalenko has become not good enough to the point where he'd rather play a center back at left back. I mean, honestly, I think today, if O'Brien hadn't gotten sent off, we would have seen four center backs again. I think that's
Mm-hmm.
pretty straightforward. We know that.
Mm-hmm.
We know that because he picked James Garner right back over Nathan Patterson. We know we would
Yep.
have seen four center backs again. So it's we're really trying to understand this iteration of David Moyes right now, where it's so stodgy and so bogged down in my mind, how I interpret in a bit of fear and anxiety as a manager of making mistakes, especially at home. Our home
Mm-hmm.
form's already bad, man. Like you've got to do something to move it around. You have to. You cannot expect. I mean, it's just again, we're just repeating ourselves. You cannot expect to do the same thing and get a different result to have success. It's just not going to work. Maybe you get lucky against a couple teams that just aren't good enough against that setup, or just can't. They can't put their chances away, and we do. But when it comes to good quality, consistent play, it's not there. I really don't as much as, and I'm even looking at the stats. I wouldn't say we were good enough today. I mean, we
No.
had 12 shot attempts to theirs 11. We had 4 shots on goal to their 3. We had 10 corners today to their 1.
Yep.
And none of those corners resulted in a shot on goal.
Nope.
We had an XG of 0.62 versus theirs of 1.27. We completed 77% of our passes versus their 80%. Had the same number of touches in the box, 16, but they had 38 clearances. They had 6 blocked shots. And when you sit there and really think about that right there, that tells me 2 things when they have that amount of clearances and that amount of blocked shots. One, we don't know how to cross the ball or complete a pass because everything is getting cleared. Everything is getting
Mm-hmm.
cleared because we are not putting in quality passes or quality crosses. And then 2, 6 block shots. Even 6 is not a crazy amount, but 6 block shots mean that we are not creating any gilt edge chances.
Yeah.
6 block shots on 4 versus 4 shots on goal means that we are not creating chances that are open space because we don't know how to break this team down. And look, make no doubts about it. Manchester United came out to frustrate us today. They came out to limit us, and they were able to snatch the 3 points away. I mean, that game could have very easily been a 0-0. I kind of thought it might be after the first half, but
Mm-hmm.
they took their chance on the break, and we never even created a chance to take. So at the end of the day, that's the story of the game is that we
Yeah.
cannot create chances. We cannot actually create good quality big chances in games, especially at home. We cannot. It's not happening. It's frustrating. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, it's frustrating.
I mean, I think a good sort of litmus test for kind of what we're going through here is looking at this actually Michael Carrick's Manchester United, right? He comes in, he says, okay, who are my best players and where do they play? Immediately puts Bruno Fernandez back into the 10, and he immediately, as as annoying as I think this guy is immediately one of the best players on the pitch for them every single game. And I mean, I look at our team, we have one of the best center backs in the league playing left back because David Moyes doesn't like our left back. We have a very bright, talented young midfielder playing on the wing because David Moyes is scared to drop a guy that's been in the team for a long time. We have Iliman and Jai playing out of position such that he is compelled to attack the byline and putting crosses to no one. I mean, I really just don't think it's that confusing why we
It's
don't
not.
score goals.
It's not. And it's but again, it's this is our repetition process here, is this has been going on.
Yeah, yeah.
And so we ask the
I mean,
same
that's just how it's
questions.
going to be too.
Yeah. Yeah, we're not going to get any answers. So what is there
No,
really to discuss at this point? It's
no. It's.
then
I mean, it's going to be the same
yeah,
thing over and over.
it sucks. It sucks to say that because it feels like a cop out, but you just say, what is there to discuss? Because we go around in circles every time this happens. It's the same thing. Nothing's new. If he came out today and, whatever, started Patterson, started Mikolenko, provided balance, started Tyreek George, had a midfield of Harrison, Garner, and Dewsbury Hall. I mean, and we lost 1-0, then all of us would be like, well, shit, we lost, but he tried something different. Now we know. Now we know. And the other side of that is like the times we've tried something different this year, O'Brien at center back, Patterson at right back, we've won. We've
Mm-hmm.
won. We've played well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like, well, David, this has worked before. Why are you
Yeah.
persisting with what has not worked? Why are you persisting with what has gotten us like 16 out of 42 points at home this season? Like, why are you persisting with this, David? What is going on? I really don't. And if it's a training thing and what these players are doing in training, maybe reevaluate the way you look at training, buddy. Because like I don't know what to tell you, man. There's no way, man. There is no way when Tyreek George comes on for 15 minutes and is able to just be the attacking impetus and be that forward motion that we need on the other side of the pitch of Illiman and Die. It's just I don't know. I don't know what to think about it anymore. So I'm not going to, at least for the rest of the night.
Yeah.
Man of the match, you got one?
James Garner. It was great.
Yeah.
Shout out James Garner.
I think Branthwaite for me. I think he played out of position very well.
He was great
I
too.
think,
Yeah.
yeah, he's just such a smart guy. Such a smart
Mm-hmm.
passer of the ball, smart defender, bro. I mean, I don't think he got beat once. He's just so freaking good. It's good to see
And
him
he's
getting
much more
back to it.
athletic than you think he is.
He's incredibly athletic, dude. He's
He's
big and
quick.
he's fast and he's strong. He's
Mm-hmm.
super fast. Seriously, I'd
Yes.
hate to be in a foot race against that guy. Um, yeah, hopefully he's back at center back on Saturday. Fingers crossed, man, because we need it. We need that back. So you're saying, yeah. So Garner, Branthwaite. All right, that's it. Nothing else to say about that game today. Any final thoughts?
Michael Keane piss missile almost scored. Best moment of the game.
Yeah. You know what? He didn't
He
even get a
almost did it
steward.
again.
Yeah, it would have been pretty crazy. Michael Keane bails out David Moyes.
In our worst moments, it's always Michael Keane scoring from 800 yards out.
800, yeah, literally with his weak foot too. All right.
Speaking of
Well,
Michael Keane,
yeah,
real quick,
yeah,
did
yeah.
you see that interview he did with the club that they posted where he was talking about playing striker and he was like Carlo Ancelotti said that before he left he would play me at striker and then Sean Dyche said before he left he would play striker and he went on this big long thing about how he thinks he's a really good finisher but he don't thinks he could actually play up top for more than like 5 minutes at a time. And I thought it was hysterical that the club like put him out there to say that because probably because it's been going on for 6 years now. Everybody's like, just put him up there for 10 minutes, and every time we do, it's like the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to me. But it's
Just
like
to
a
fix
train
it.
wreck. You
Yeah,
can't look
yeah,
away. It's
yeah,
like no.
yeah. It's weird to see him up there for sure. I mean,
Uh,
yeah, I think that was tongue in cheek from the club, and maybe also kind of being like, "Hey, just get Michael out there to say, hey, I can't do it," so the fans stop asking for it. Like, please, for the love of God.
right. That was funny though.
Excuse me. All right. Well, looking ahead, we don't have much of a turnaround. We play again on Saturday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 3 p.m.
Hmm.
British, whatever the hell, Greenwich Median Time. Um, believe it or not, we play a 3 p.m. Saturday game, just not at home because that's not allowed anymore. I think we're just never going to play at 3 p.m. on a Saturday again for those poor
No.
people who go to the match. They're all going to be stuck getting Monday night trains home. I feel for y'all because that does suck. And Puppy, well, we'll talk about that later. So we have Newcastle and United away. Obviously, we know that we got smacked by them at home earlier this season, 4-1. Awful game. Hated every moment of it. So Newcastle are in 11th place on 36 points. We are in ninth on 37 points. Um, it's going to be a tough game against a team that we have a pretty mixed bag of results against over the past few years. But at the same time, a team that is beatable, for sure beatable.
Yeah, that they haven't been fantastic this year, but they've rounded into form. They beat Villa recently.
Yep.
They
So did we.
went and smacked Care back in the Champions League, which they do play in again tomorrow, by the way, with a
Okay, yeah.
six with a 6-1 lead on aggregate. So it'll be me and you and
Yeah.
somebody else playing, but
And somebody's kid, right?
it'll be a short week for them. They've been good. Anthony Gordon, I think, is one of their, if I'm not mistaken, it's 5 goals and assists. Bruno Guimaraes 13, but he's hurt. Wiltamot's been okay. I think they're kind of just like us. They're not gonna dazzle you with anything, but
Yeah.
consistent enough.
I mean, so if we look at their last five just in the league, they lost to City this past week.
Hmm.
This is FA Cup, but they beat Villa in that cup. They beat Tottenham, lost to Brentford, lost to Liverpool, and then lost to Aston Villa in the league. So they've not been great in the league, and I think that's kind of been a bit of their Achilles heel this year for their fans is that they've just not been a great team in the league so far.
Yeah,
They would expect a lot more, but they're also fighting on a lot of fronts. I mean, they were in a Carabao Cup semifinal. They're getting into the FA Cup. They're in the Champions League, and their squad is not all that big. So it's not totally surprising that they have a competition they're not doing as well in the league.
right.
Like you said, they've got that huge aggregate lead on Carabao, so they're probably going to play a team of kids,
Hmm.
which means they'll be fairly fresh for the game against us on Saturday. There's not a lot of players in that side that fill me with a lot of fear. They're young guys, Lewis Miley in particular, really, really good players. They're the kind of players that could really put the fear in us if we have a slow, stodgy back four again. But I'm hoping that on Saturday, David Moyes finds a little bit of gumption and brings Branthwaite back to center back, brings Mikalenko back, and if he wants to play Garner at right back, still fine, no problem. I don't think he's going to be dropping Konage anytime soon at all this season, unless he does something egregious like slaps David Moyes, because he's fine if his teammates fight, but maybe if his player fights him, it might be a different story. We'll see.
Mm.
But yeah, I don't know. I really don't know what to expect from this weekend. Honestly, it's away from home. I think that's the best thing you can say is give you the most hope. It's away from home.
Yeah, and I think it's a game that sets up for us to be okay. They have a lot of guys up front that I don't think have panned out the way they've wanted them to. Alonga, Jacob Ramsey hasn't been great. Honestly, Anthony Gordon's been pretty bad most of this season,
Yep.
at least in the league.
Yep.
And I think they've kind of resigned themselves to maybe, okay, I mean, even with not the best squad ever, we're going to go and give this Champions League thing a real try, and we're going to go give this FA Cup thing a real try. And the Premier League is what it is. We're going to finish mid-table, and this is pretty much it. So
Mm,
I think with a little bit of adventure and excitement and impetus, we could definitely win this game. And I kind of think we're going to.
I hope so. I hope you're right.
Yeah.
I could see it. One of those games that we're trying to rebound from a couple of tough losses and get a chance to go away from home and beat a side that has been a little shaky this season. I mean, it's totally possible. It's going to take some big performances from players like Iliman Njai and Kieran Dewsbury Hall, and
Hmm.
I would imagine it's going to be the kind of game that Tyreek George would start in, because I just don't think that David Moyes can persist with Harrison Armstrong on the left. I just don't think it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Didn't make sense today. Didn't make sense against Bournemouth. Did he start against Bournemouth or was it Tyreek George? He started against Bournemouth, didn't he? Am I going crazy?
I think Tyreek George started last game if that was Bournemouth.
I'm pretty sure he started against Tyreek George or started against Bournemouth. But regardless, um, we can't continue to
Yeah.
persist with the same that is not working. So, what's your prediction?
I'm gonna say 2-1. I'm gonna say we move Tyreek George to the right, put Njai on the left, and they both score a goal.
So I say 3-0 to the Toffees because
Wow.
why not? I think that's a result we can get at Newcastle. I think we're due a few goals, and let's just try to find a way to fall in love with Everton again. Just have some good feeling, and I don't know. I'm not really. Again, I think eighth gets us Conference League this year. It's totally possible. We have a
Hmm.
lot of excuse me, a lot of games still left in the season. Again, we're still in ninth place. We're not far off these European spots. So, when I watched David Moyes' press conference today, he seemed rather bullish about the game, bullish about the result, even if it was a loss. He seemed quite happy with the way the team played. So I have a feeling that David Moyes has maybe something a little bit else up his sleeve. I hope and have a feeling there will be some sort of change coming in terms of player personnel on that team. I really hope that this, I hope and have a feeling that's the case. I could totally be wrong, and we'll continue to watch center backs line up for Brest. But I do think that we will win. I think we'll beat Newcastle. It'll be a good win, and then we go on from there. I mean, after Newcastle, we get Burnley at home, which seems like the kind of game that strikes fear into your heart, honestly. But it's also what I'm hoping is you beat Newcastle, you go and beat Burnley, and then we have Arsenal away. And Arsenal away is a game that we probably will lose, but it's also the kind of game where we could freaking. I mean, Arsenal are not like they're trying to win the league, obviously, and they just smacked Tottenham around. But I mean, you never know. I don't want to get that crazy with it, but you never know. Um, then Chelsea at home, and then the rest. There's plenty more. Brentford, we play Liverpool again, which by the way I might be trying to go over for that Liverpool game. We'll see.
Sick.
Yeah, fingers crossed. If I'd like to go for two, so that's sandwiched in between two away games in the
Mm.
capital, Brentford and West Ham. So both of those would be pretty cool. I haven't been to either stadium. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Um, Watto, let's just address that. Where are our heads tonight, then, and David Moyes' future? Tough one. Earlier, I was pretty like, I mean, I feel still pretty close to like maybe my head's starting to turn on David Moyes a little bit, but he's got till the end of the season for me. I mean, if we finish 11th or 12th, I think I'd kind of be like, well, I don't know, maybe we need to start asking the David Moyes question. But I don't really think the club wants to have to change manager again until their contract runs out. I think they want to stick with this project side of David Moyes and give him another season to round the squad out a little bit. But we know how tough it is to watch this team right now. So
Yeah, look, I feel like where my head is, I feel like I'm thinking pretty clearly because we're 3 points off seventh and we're 3 points off 14th, and I feel like are two very distinct roads that this season can end on.
mm-hmm.
And for me personally, if we're really kickstarting this project and we finish 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, are you giving last year of the contract David Moyes another summer window and a bunch of money to pick a bunch of players out again? Well, I'm not. Look, and I love David Moyes. God love him. I think he's done a fantastic job, and he'll never get enough credit for what he's done. Similar to Sean Dyche, he's done a great job. I'm not giving him another year if that's how it shakes out. I'm just not. I don't see the point. God
Yeah,
love him. God love him. He's an English. He's a Merseyside hero. God love him.
English guy's Scottish, bro. Um, I think you just made some enemies with that.
No, the Scottish don't care about David Moyes. The people of Liverpool care about David Moyes.
Yeah, but the Scots cared about not being called English. Um, Anyways, that never happened. None of you ever heard that. Yeah, that's our thoughts on David Moyes. Well,
Mm.
we'll see. So we have some questions to round out the night, a little Q&A. And Jacob hasn't seen these, so should be fun.
Well,
Later, burp. Do you think Eric Boonham has a long-term future at the club? 20 seconds, go.
sure, yeah, I think he's pretty good, and I think he's still pretty young. I don't know if he should be starting every game, but I like him as an option in the team, and if he gets better, maybe he starts eventually. Tim Arabodum.
You have 10 seconds. No. Yeah, I think he has a future at the club. I think he is developing. I think that he will do a lot better when he has a lot less responsibility on distributing the ball in
Hmm.
forward ways. I would love to see him in a more Ghana Gay breaker of play role than any sort of future like forward just forward play. I just think he's a better defensive midfielder who can sit there and break up play and make great tackles. And when he at times he can get himself out of trouble by dribbling and using his body. He does a good job at that. And continue to teach him that. Continue to teach him how to use his body and just make him an adequate passer of the ball. He doesn't need to be the kind of guy that's making breaking 50, 60-yard balls. That doesn't need to be him. You don't need every player to be able to do that. You need players who can break up play and be destructors and be disruptors in midfield so that you can more easily transition from defense to offense. Um,
Yeah.
mhm.
Listen, I'll use 5 more seconds to say you need one Tim Bunum, and I think Tim Bunum could be this team's one Tim Bunum in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. That was good. Next question. Do you think Garner at right back till the end of the season is the best move? No.
undoubtedly, yes.
No, I
I'll
don't.
disagree with you there.
Yeah. I
It
just
won't happen.
no. I think he belongs in midfield. I say that because when at the real balance in midfield, I think like an Eric Boonham, Garner, Dewsbury Hall midfield sounds great.
Yeah,
Um, and I think one of the things that you get from James Garner playing in midfield is just a lot more involved in the game, and you don't have to work as hard to get him involved in the game. When he's at right back, you really have to focus on getting that ball to him at right back, and then it's like, well, what can you do from there with him there? Where's his is he limited with that
yeah,
position, or is it a space where he can really be creative and thrive? I think at times he's able to do things that none of our other right backs can do. That's for sure. But then how much does that limit what he's actually really capable of if he has the space in midfield that he's used to having?
right. Yeah, I mean, I think I would want to see Harrison Armstrong as James Garner in midfield first,
Sure.
but
Yeah. Yeah.
if it works, I mean, you know,
Yep. Excuse me. All right. What do you think is our strongest fully fit 11?
ugh. You take this one first. I'll let you have this one.
Pickford, Mikolenko, Branthwaite,
Hmm.
Tarkovsky. Oh boy. Patterson. Uh,
Shout.
there's a reason because I'm not going to put Garner at right back.
Mm.
Garner, Dewsbury Hall. Um, after that's tough. That third midfield spot, I don't think it's Harrison Armstrong quite yet, even though he's been good since he came back. It's hard. I don't really want to say that Tim Igbunum's our strongest midfield, and I don't believe Ghana is. But I think, probably, let's just say Harrison Armstrong right now. Let's say it.
Mm.
Jack Grealish, Gilliman Adai, Tiernan Berry. It's fully fit. We're fully fit. We have Jack Grealish back in the team. I think that 11 right there is the 11 that
Mm.
takes us takes us forward more, provides us with more balance.
Yeah.
Some big calls in there.
Very similar to you. I'm going Pickford, Mikolenko, Branthwaite, O'Brien.
Oh, Brian, right over Tarkovsky.
Yeah, Garner. I'm putting Garner right back. I think the three in the midfield is Dewsbury Hall, Armstrong, and I guess Idrissa Gueye on his best day is better than Irabunum. I think it's closer than you think.
Yeah.
And then Grealish, Berry, and Jai. So not far off. I mean,
Yep. Yeah, and that's not an 11 we've really seen much of this season. So it's
at all.
yeah, it's frustrating. And then where does Tyreek George fall into that before long? Where does like a Carlos Alcaraz, who's barely had any minutes this season, man? It's I know
Dude, I
he's
forgot about Carlos
well,
Alcaraz.
he was
Where is
hurt.
he?
He was hurt today. He had a muscle injury, so
That's
he wasn't
right.
on the bench. Yeah.
Carlos Alcaraz exists.
Yeah, he does, but he hasn't even had the most fruitful of seasons. I mean,
Yeah,
but
David Moyes hates him too for some reason.
yeah. Next question: should Cyrano Barra be our starting striker next season?
Oh, that sucks as a question I have to answer.
I agree. I agree.
I love Tierno Berry. He's probably not going to be our starting striker to start next year, if you believe the rumor mill. He's probably our second choice striker, and I think he could eventually be our number one again, honestly.
Uh,
But nah, I don't. If I had to choose right now, no, I don't want him to be.
yeah,
Harsh
I'm not.
though.
Yeah, I think we sell Beto in the summer,
Oh, for sure.
or just try to get him out, loan, whatever. We probably will be in the market for a striker, but what that looks like and who that might be, I don't know. If we decide to go for a big physical guy who can't score, okay, which is what we'll probably end up doing, So welcome Alexander Mitrovic or something. I don't know.
Oh,
God
there's a
forbid.
guy.
Yeah, God forbid. Uh, no, I don't think he will be. I mean, it's very possible he might be. and it might just be at the start of the season because we'll wait till deadline day to actually sign a striker. But I don't know. And honestly, when you think about who our striker is, probably gonna that we'd look at is probably gonna be like a Liam Delap or Evan Ferguson.
I've seen. I was about to say I've seen Delap quite a bit already from reputable sources. I don't know how
Yeah,
I feel about that.
and the thing with, I mean, I don't mind Liam Delap. I think he would do well without the pressure of Chelsea. I think he'd do well here. I think he fits us quite a bit more than a Tierno Barry does, in all honesty. And I actually think it was a big mistake that he even went to Chelsea in the first place. I thought that was
He made a horrible mistake
yeah.
going to
I
Chelsea.
thought that was pretty. I mean, look, like who am I to tell Liam Delap what he should do? I guess he said
No, but I
young,
100% agree with
yeah.
you.
But it's just kind of like, dude, like where did you think your career was about to go, man? Like you've had one good season, you played really well, bro. Like it's awesome, but you gotta like temper your own expectations and also realize where you're going to get the chance to play and develop and get the trust, right? David Moyes was so desperate to bring him in. I've never seen David Moyes go to the freaking press about a player. And he went to the press like, we freaking want him so bad. And
Yep.
he's like, yeah, I'll just play a little bit of Chelsea. No big deal.
Yeah.
It is what it
Yeah.
is. Um,
Richarlison.
yeah, this is a good point. I just don't think he was like David Moyes doesn't suit the new ownership and transfer strategy. Yes, David. Yeah, David Moyes, we've known for a long time, is not the kind of guy that wants young players without much Premier League experience. He's very Sean Dyche in that regard. Is he wants players who have Premier League experience for whatever reason, whatever that means. Um, and I think that sort of thinking really bites us in the butt when it comes to recruitment. Big freaking time. Because you look at clubs like Bournemouth and Brighton and all these other clubs that go out into Europe and go to South America and even go to Asia and North America and Central America and anywhere and find these diamonds in the rough who pick out players based on their determination and their desire to move on and grow as players. It's what does Premier League experience even mean, dude? What does it mean?
Yeah.
It's just gets you so what it gets you is a bunch of journeymen. It gets you a bunch of workman like players who do exactly what we do now, who huff and puff but can't blow anything down. You know, it's
Yeah, it gets you Josh King and Morgan Schneiderlin, and honestly,
a
I mean,
freaking men. Ooh.
I just agree with this guy. I mean, I think he's right. David Moyes, I love him, but I don't know.
Hmm. Well, our last question. What are the top three positions to buy in the summer? Right back, left back. I don't know. After that, midfield, attacker, left wing, right wing. I mean,
Yeah,
striker. Yeah.
right back, left back, and then get six more players wherever you want to
world
get them. Get six more.
world class internationals. Yep. Yeah, yeah. Right back, left back. I think it's got to be right at the top of the list. It has to be priority. There should be if we go out of this, if for whatever reason next summer we come out of it without having signed at least one right back and one left back, it is a total failure of a window, and there needs to be some heads rolling because that's ridiculous. There's no way in hell we cannot find one decent left back of one decent right back that fit our budget. There's no way. There is just no way in hell, bro. It is negligence.
I mean, hysterically, we have all been saying this about a right back for like not no bullshit. Sorry, excuse my language. 6 years now.
Yep.
I mean, actually, why are they not signing a right back? What do they know?
I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I don't get it.
It's baffling.
They really must think that there's just no quality in that position out there, but that does not make sense.
In the entire world, they are like, no, in the
Or
universe.
just nothing they feel like they could get their hands on conceivably. I don't know, man. I don't know. I
I mean,
really don't know. It's
I mean,
baffling.
even West Ham went and got Wan-Bissaka at least, man. Like, come
Yeah,
on.
and look, the West Ham's left back is the one I want, and I hope I pray.
Diouf, yeah.
Youth, man, that's the guy, bro. That is the left back for
Yes.
the next 10 years, man. Like get that guy
Yes.
in, bro. Seriously. Oh well, I have no more questions and no more words to say about Everton.
Agreed.
Do you know no more words from you? Okay. Well, folks, thank you for joining us. We are just under an hour. The time flew. We were having so much fun with y'all talking about. Yeah, that was not exactly the way I feel, Jacob. Yeah, one no loss. It's just we're all so frustrated. It was a very frustrating game, and it just left a little bit of a sour taste in our mouths, especially in mine, because it's just it could have been so much more. And that's kind of the story of the season so far. Is it coulda, woulda, shoulda.
The Renaissance starts Saturday.
You guys got a Renaissance Festival coming up?
No.
Oh, the Renaissance of Everton. Oh,
Yeah.
dude, I
Yeah.
yeah,
The Renaissance Festival.
I have an interview in April for to be a character at the Maryland Renaissance Festival. So that my mind's been like all on that. Yeah, dude,
That's awesome.
I feel very confident about it. Yeah,
That's
I'm a
super beast.
big medieval Renaissance nerd over here, guys. We can talk more about it. Go play Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 and have a good night.
Oh, what a great game.
Great game, really good, really hard game, but it's a lot of fun. Alrighty, folks. Thank you for joining us. We will see you next week, probably Sunday, maybe Monday. We'll let you know. Good night, everybody.
Good night.